The bell has rung and students begin flooding out in masses. This is where the school day ends, isn't it? Wrong. It's only the start of the day for our custodial staff. Our bus drivers just began heading on numerous routes to bring our students home, and our paraprofessionals remain at schools to make sure everything is set for the following day. These very professionals are the ones who stay outside of school hours, relentlessly working to maintain a safe space for students. We call them our hidden heroes. In 2022, the Florida Education Association announced that Florida is currently suffering from a severe shortage of bus drivers, paraprofessionals, and other support staff needed to provide all of our students with the education that they deserve and need.
The shortage of instructional staff and paras in Florida is about 4,000 as of January of this year. What we do here in Marion County is they hold career fairs, and we're reaching out and using other resources to reach out nationally across the United States to try and attract more people because we are Florida.
So the shortage of the staff at our school in all of our areas, but particularly our support staff, has caused some issues because it's really hard for them to take care of this entire school, and there's only 5 or 6 of them. That's not even enough, one per building. The bus driving situation, it's harder on students and families because they have to wait on the bus, or the bus doesn't get there on time, or they get home really late because there's so few bus drivers.
The Florida Education Association president Andrew Spar says that number may continue to get higher if major changes at the state level aren't made. Out of all 50 states, Florida has one of the lowest average school staff salaries, ranking 48th.
You know, the price of everything has gone up in the last few years, so I think the salaries for teachers and paraprofessionals as well need to rise.
I do think bus drivers are underpaid in the sense of all of the responsibility. Most of our folks are leaving around 6 a.m. in the morning from the bus compound, starting their bus route. And so if you think about that, these folks are probably up by 4:30. Because it's not a full-time 40-hour-a-week for some position where you get paid all year round, when you look at what their annual salary is, it's tough. It's tough for some people to live on that.
There are over 500 custodians in Marion County responsible for clean, safe, and sanitary conditions throughout Marion County public school buildings. That means they manage over 7 million square feet of space.
I would say our biggest struggle that we face on a daily basis is shortages. The workload, I would say, is too much for one person, but we've been dealing with it for so long, like it's on a regular. There's more work put on to the custodial staff, but we have to get it done within the same amount of time that's allotted.
They work tirelessly behind the scenes to provide a healthy learning environment, which is often a hidden contribution to how a student truly succeeds. Our schools are filled with hidden heroes. There are nearly 500,000 buses carrying over 25 million students who rely on this transportation to get to school every day.
You are 70 times more likely to safely get to school when you're riding a bus than you are riding in someone's car. So our transportation people are wonderful at what they do. The drivers have relationships with students that teachers don't have, that parents don't have because they're somebody different.
It's incredibly rewarding watching kids evolve. You witness them move, from elementary to middle, and then from middle to high school, and some of them seeing them actually graduate and move on to do incredible things.
We are seeing a rising issue as bus driver employment levels have declined 21.8% since 2009.
Not having all of our positions filled, potentially what that looks like is students standing on the road for excessive and prolonged amounts of time. If you think about that over time and that same bus is consistently late, then obviously that learning is not taking place.
Bus drivers are the most highly trained, tested, and scrutinized drivers on the road.
They're always under the microscope to make sure that they make all the right moves, all the right turns, so to speak, and do the right things in getting our students here safely every single day.
It's easy to forget how something as simple as a school bus impacts the lives of students, parents, teachers, and community members. Did you know that school meal programs across the U.S. are in disarray due to a major staffing shortage?
The shortages affect us by having to close a line down. I personally do not like to close any lines down. Just coming here and get the meals done for breakfast or lunch. Could be challenging sometimes. Make sure that we have the full staff here to make sure that all these lines stay open is important. Staffing across the county, bus drivers, custodians, we're shorthanded everywhere. So it's a challenge for us just getting the job done.
Especially for low-income students, school lunch is critical to student health and well-being. The food environment in schools plays an important role in shaping children's food choices and behaviors. School nutrition programs ease the morning rush for busy parents while making healthy development possible for the millions of U.S. children suffering from food insecurity. School cafeteria workers make an average of $10.20 an hour. Surely that deserves to increase now that we've seen just how essential these services are to keep our schools and society running.
I believe our food service workers and managers and assistant managers and our GA2s pay needs to be looked at just a little bit more. When we come to work, we're here at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. We're the first ones on campus. We're dealing with shortages. We're dealing with the same amount of students, up to 1,000 we serve.
The Florida education system states that the continuous lack of support and low pay has contributed to the notion that these positions in education are undesirable. When the profession is repeatedly attacked, when the contribution that they make to students and communities goes unrecognized, it becomes difficult to attract and retain dedicated and qualified education professionals. This is why it is important to bring light on the issue, so we can be mindful and appreciative of everything that they do for us. With our collective efforts of keeping the conversation going, we can have power in numbers and advocate for better pay, treatment, and environment for our precious hidden heroes.